Hello everyone. So in this video we will understand basics of Python. What is input output, what are variables, if else condition, list, dictionaries, all these basic things required to complete a, um program in Python, and some rules like indentation, semicolon and all those things. So in the last video we tried to print some statements using this print method. So this comes under the input output part. So this is output. To print an statement or any variable or anything, we can use print and in bracket that sentence, right? So let's try to run this. So in this chapter 1 folder I am running Python and then this test.py file. If I click this, it will print hi, and this is AI agent workshop, right? This is output. Now how to take input? So suppose we are running a program and we want to take some information from the user like name or age or symptoms he is facing, right? If he is sick and he is facing some issues, what symptoms he is facing like cough and all, so we can take input. So how to take input? Just use input function and in bracket ask the question. Okay, and if I run this, yes, it's asking me this question: what symptoms are you having? I'll answer cough and it will end. So let's mention thank you. Okay, so it will print hi, then this is AI agent workshop, and then it will wait for the input with the message what symptom you are having. I'll mention cold. When I hit enter, this input line will complete, and after that it will print this thank you for using our bot, right? So this is how input and output works in Python. Now let's talk about variables. So when we are using input, we are taking some input from the user and we want to use that or display it. Like we are taking the symptom and then we want to suggest a solution for that. So we need to store that value. Whatever input we are taking, we need to store that in some what? Some placeholder, like, so we can use it later. So we need to store it in some variable. So let's use some variable in Python. We can use a variable by just using some name. No type is required. Suppose just use symptom equal to this. So this symptom will become the variable, and whatever user enters, it will be saved in the symptom variable, and we can display that using print, right? So now we are storing this value in some variable to be used later. For now, just to print. So let's run this. When I enter code, it will display that from this symptom variable, and then this thank you message. Okay, so let's add some more variables. So we want to know who the user is, what's his name. So let's say name equal to. So here you can see we are storing the variable value which is coming from the input in the symptom variable. We can also directly hard code the values here. Suppose name Ramesh. We know the patient name and age. We are hard coding the name and age directly in these two variables, but we are taking symptom from the user as input. So finally we have these three variables. Okay, and we can display. Suppose like this, hi Ramesh, and then what is your symptom? Okay, save this and run it. Okay, hi, this is AI agent workshop. Hi Ramesh, what symptom you are having? So I'll mention something and then it will display it. Okay, so this is how we use the variable. It can be string, right? It can be number, and it can be uh, float or some other values. In Python, when we assign some value to a variable, type of this becomes whatever we have added in the value. If it's a string, name will become string type. If it is number like age, this will become number type. Normally in other languages, we cannot change the type once we define it, but in Python it is a dynamic type. So suppose if we are saying name equal to Ramesh, which is a string, we are using it here, we are displaying the name, and later we say name equal to, suppose we means instead of name we use some code. Okay, 707, and try to print it. So in normal different languages like Java and all, it will throw error. We cannot change the type and at runtime, but in Python we can do it. See, it's displaying 707 instead of string value. It is displaying the number without any issues. But in Java you cannot do that. In some languages we have to mention the type before. Like if it is a string, we have to mention that it is going to be string, and we have to store a string only. If we are mentioning it a string and storing an number, it will throw error. But in some languages we can do this, like without mentioning a type. We can use the variable and assign a value directly, but we cannot change it later. Once it is a string, it will be string. But in Python it's a dynamic type. We can change it anytime we want. Okay, so let's just for now remove this. So now we know little bit about variables. Let's talk about if else statement. So we are taking name and then symptom. Let's check if the user has cough, then we need to suggest something. If they have fever, then we have to suggest something, right? So we need to check the condition. If they have fever, if they have cough, so we use if else statement. So here we'll use if, then symptom equal cough, then print you have cold. Okay, else, suppose just we are just checking one condition. Okay, so the user is fine. So this is the way we use if else statements in Python to check conditions. If something is this, then this should be done. If else, this should be done. So what is the syntax? We start with if, then space, and this condition, whatever we want to check, something equal to something, and then use a semicolon, colon, and in the next line press a tab and mention the solution, and then else again colon. See, you're seeing here red, that means we don't have correct syntax. Just mention colon and then print this. Let's check what symptom you are having. Cough, so cold, right? Let's do that again. Fever, you are thinking too much. That means we are not checking anything other than cough. So if they don't have cough, that means our solution is they are fine. Let's make this system a little more smarter. Okay, add more condition. So if system equal to cough, else if, so here we use elif symptom equal to fever colon. Okay, so if the symptom is cough, then suggest take some medicine. If symptom is fever, then visit doctor. Else he is fine, you are thinking too much. Okay, so this is the syntax: if condition colon, and what should come in the if statement, then elif condition and the statement, and then else. So if elif else. Okay, so this way we do the condition checking. Let's run this. Cold, you are thinking too much. Okay, so this application is checking the symptom and suggesting solution, but this is a very basic uh, doctor. Okay, it only suggests if you have cough and fever. So slowly from here we need to make this smarter and even more smarter using AI, add more condition and make it like pre-doctor. Before visiting doctor, it should suggest as much as possible. Okay, so what symptom you are having? Suppose fever, so it will say visit doctor. So this if else condition is worked. Okay, let's talk about list. Next, let's talk about list. So here we are asking what symptom you are having. Let's give some options. Okay, how to give options? So make a list. Symptom list equal to square bracket and some symptoms comma separated. Okay, so here we can add as many symptoms we want. So this becomes list, and we want to print that. Let's see if we can just print directly. So we'll show this list and ask what symptom you are having. Okay, it's displaying. So these three options, and then what symptom you are having, I'll say COUGH cough, and it will suggest something. Okay, so you can see here we have capital C, but here we have small c, so it's not matching because Python is case sensitive. So for now, just make it same. Okay, so this way we use list, and in Python, in these use cases, we need to use list a lot. So understand list. Okay, it's a variable with some values comma separated inside a square bracket. We can directly print that using this variable. It will display all these options. But if we want to use any particular item from this, we use index syntax. So we just want to print first, so we'll do that 0. So symptom list 0, that means it will print 0th element, that is cough. Okay, if we want to print headache, we'll mention 2. Okay, wait a second, what happened? 0 1 2, it should print headache, right? Okay, now it's printing headache correctly. Okay, so for now, practice this. Remember one thing, in Python we don't use semicolon to separate the sentences. Like in other languages, we can go on writing one statement in as many as line we want, like this. Okay, and we separate it using semicolon. But in Python, next line is the separator. We don't use any semicolon. Just next line is taken as the next statement. So semicolons are not mandatory. It will not cause any issue, but we don't need it. Next thing is indentation is very important in this. Right here, if you can see, if symptom equal to cough, in one tab, and then this, right? Anything after this tab will be considered as a part of if statement, right? Here we can go on writing anything. Right, so anything with this tab indentation will fall under the if statement. And if you want to change that, if you want to go to else, right, if you press enter, you have to remove this tab and come here and then use elif. Right, if we don't do that, it will throw error. Suppose if we remove this, okay, it's throwing error, right? So this is important. Indentation is very important in Python. Let's try to add some indentation here. Let's see what happens. it's throwing error, right? So indentation is important. It takes this as part child of this statement, and here it is throwing error because there is no condition, which will work under if else. But inside if else, if we don't add indentation, then it will throw error. So keep in mind these two things: semicolon, it's not mandatory; indentation is very critical. Okay. So try these basic fundamentals of Python, and in the next video I'll write some complex program using this.